Oh my gosh, man. That gets me fired up every single time. What you heard right now is the intro music of the Prophet. Every time I got in the ring with an opponent, that was my song. That was my war song going into battle every single time. And man, this media team rocks it because they found the song and they put it on there for me. And they gave me that wrestling introduction, man. Thank you so much. I am fired up now, even more, to be on this call. But my name is Marvin Osuna. My wife Rachel and I have been with the Alliance now for 13 years, and we have the honor and privilege to work with Andy Albright and Jane Albright. And by the way, thank you to this amazing couple, Andy and Jane, because you guys have set this stage for us. You guys have built this platform, and I know that it wasn't easy. I know that you sacrificed so many things, and I know that this requires blood, sweat, tears, and so much that you guys gave up in the beginning to be able to build this business. That now we have this amazing opportunity where we're talking to thousands of people at the same time. But in the very beginning, you guys were probably talking to two or three people, and you were hoping that they would get excited. You were hoping that they would see the light of day, and they would be able to look at the future and say, you know what, I want more. I want to reach higher levels. I want to go with them. And so that's why we are here today. And so, for us, it's a great opportunity. It's a wonderful privilege to be able to talk to the team today. Our hope for this call today is to give you a couple of steps that will help you propel your business, to help you find your why. Because, we teach about finding the why with our clients, finding the pain, finding out what's important to them. And so this time, I have the opportunity to share with you how to find your own why, how to find your own purpose, how to define yourself. And I'm just so glad to see everybody on the call. Man, love to see all the love, Sean, Tawny, Walker, Alex, everybody that is on the chat right now. Love you guys. Thank you for all your love. And please get some pencils, get something to write with, some crayons, whatever you can get your hands on so that you can take notes. Because what we're going to do is first, I'm going to interview some people in the team, some winners that are part of our team that have been able to define their why. They've been able to define their purpose. They've been able to find what drives them. And then towards the end of the call, I'm going to give you the 5 steps on how to just take your business to the next level, defining who you are, really finding your why. And so that is our purpose for today. So, to give you a little preface as far as what finding the why is all about, what being part of this amazing team is all about. Because I don't know if you know this, but the Alliance is blowing up. There is no better time right now to build. There is no better time than right now to grow this business with the Alliance. I've never seen it like this. I've been with the Alliance for 13 years, and I have never seen it like this. But there was a time when we first joined the Alliance. And many of you guys may not know our story, but, I wasn't born in the U.S. I was born in Guatemala. I came to the U.S. when I was 11 years old. And, I started to work at an early age. Actually, my first job was at 11. I was trying to find some work, trying to, help my parents, and they were doing everything they could. They were hardworking people. They each had 2 jobs when we came here because they were trying to make it happen, to do the best that they could to take care of us, 5 kids. And so, as some of you guys know, because we came over, due to a situation in our country where my dad was being persecuted by Civil War members, and they were trying to get him to cooperate and fund their cause and their weapons and everything. My dad said no. He had a successful business, but we had to leave in the middle of the night to come to America and find some refuge, find some protection. And thank God we did. And I thank God every day, for this amazing country, for this beautiful country, that we're part of. And so, during that time, because I was very limited as far as the opportunities that I had, because we weren't residents of the country, we were still in this process that lasted, gosh, like 30 years plus, and so what I saw in my parents was the attitude of hard work. They were inspired, to work hard every day. And so at the age of 21, by the grace of God, I was able to put a down payment to buy them a house. My sister helped me out, and we were able to give them the keys to a brand new house. But then what happened, maybe I'm going to say, 7 years later, when the economy went down, when the market dropped, no, 17 years later, in 2008, what happened at that time was that we started to lose that house because the payment doubled from one day to the next. We had bought a house of our own. Rachel and I had a house of our own. And that's right, Alliance family. We had a house of our own, and we were losing that house as well. We had built a house from the ground up, and it was, custom built home, everything we wanted in the house. We were losing that as well. So imagine when we came on board, we were losing our house. I was losing my parents' house at the time, because I was helping make the payments on that. And it was, the payments were just astronomical. We just couldn't keep up with the payments. So just like a lot of people, we lost those two properties. The houses were foreclosed. We had a car. Unfortunately, during that time, my wife Rachel got into an accident, but by the grace of God, nothing happened. She was fine and the kids were fine, but the car was totaled. So we were losing our houses. We didn't have a car. We only made enough money at the time with the part-time jobs that we had just to buy groceries and to pay like electricity and phone. We weren't able to make house payments or anything like that. So my why in the beginning was I was trying to make money so that we could, find a place to live, first of all, and, get out of that situation. So that was my original why. And, just to talk about it a little bit more, first month, second month in the Alliance, thank God I was able to go to my very first event. We sold everything we could sell. We pawned wedding rings. We did whatever we could so that I could go to my first event. And after that first event, is where I got the information, the inspiration, and the knowledge to come back and just absolutely crush it in the business to where, by the third month, I was able to put a deposit down on a very small place, because we had to leave the house. We had no choice. And so we were able to do that and, start paying our bills. Our goal at that time was to be able to buy a car, to be able to do certain things that we couldn't do before. But mainly we were more like in survival mode, if you think about it. And I'm going to tell you more about how that why evolved, because some people may be in that mode right now. Maybe you're at the point where you're just trying to pay the bills. You're just trying to make ends meet. You're just trying to survive. You're trying to get out of someone's couch, or you're trying to get your own place, whatever it is, you may be in that situation. So I'm going to tell you how that started to evolve for us. But first, I have some amazing people on the call with me. I have some amazing winners. And first of all, I'd like to introduce to you Alex and Araceli Sim. Alex and Araceli, they've been with us for about 9 months. Alex has had his license for like 8.5 months now. And he was able to find his why. He was able to figure out what he really wanted in this business. And so now, he is one of the top producers. A couple months ago, he issued $27,000. He is on his way to Cabo. He's got about 25,000 left to qualify. I mean, it's just so many exciting things. So I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. So go ahead, Alex. Go ahead and unmute yourself, and then you guys can introduce yourselves.
Hi. Thank you, Marvin. I want to thank God for this opportunity, and Andy and Marvin and all the leaders for this opportunity. It's a huge blessing to be here. And so my name is Alex Sim. I was hired by Marvin. I'm under Shayla Osuna. And I started about 8.5 months ago with the Alliance. And in the beginning, I was a welder for 14 years before that. And I was welding from about December and January all the way up to February. I was still welding, and then I went part-time with the Alliance due to circumstances that my wife is gonna talk about in a few minutes. I went from part-time and I had to go full-time and all these things, but it's been a blessing. I mean, when I was in the welding industry, you go through hoops and trying to get all these things, certifications, and to be the best you can be, and you don't really get anywhere. And then here at the Alliance, the sky's not even the limit. You can go as high as you want. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
I love it. Araceli?
My name is Araceli Sim, and I'm Alex's wife. I am currently a stay-at-home mom. I was working for a company for about 13 years, and there I learned to be an office manager, and human resources manager, a production manager, an accounts receivable clerk. We were in Reno, Nevada, but moved to Salt Lake because of this job that I had. And due to unfortunate circumstances, I had to quit, and it pushed Alex to have to look for something else and for me to stay home. But even though it's tough, the Alliance has been a blessing to our family. So, yeah.
It pushed us to find the best thing ever in the Alliance. That's for sure. I told you.
I love it.
You should have grabbed me by the neck 10 years ago. Tell me, join the Alliance, Alex.
I think I did 10 years before, but you weren't listening. You were like, no, I'm good. That's cool. So Araceli, or Vivi, as we like to call you, tell us a little bit about the little ones.
Oh, yeah. I have 3 wonderful kids. I have Benjamin. He's my oldest. He is 12 years old. And then I have Noah. He's 11. So they're both in middle school. And then I have Esther. She's the princess, or she calls herself the queen sometimes. She forgets I'm the queen. And she's 5 years old. She just started kindergarten last week. So that's been kind of hard. But,
of course.
But thanks to this job opportunity for my husband, I'm at home present with her. Even though she cries and she comes home and she's like, Mom, am I going to school tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, you're going to do it for the next 12 years.
So who cried more, you, Alex, or Esther? Alex. Okay, that's what I figured. I didn't want to assume, but I just some kind of intuition. I don't know. So tell me, as of right now, what is your why? What drives you? What inspires you now to do what you guys are doing?
Me or me?
You. You go first.
Yeah, well, one of the, like you said in the beginning, and at first it's kind of like, okay, it's to pay your bills and all that stuff, and that's always gonna be part of it. But one of the main things that we found in our why is, having what my wife just said, that she was able to be here with the kids, raising our kids to be that next generation that rises above, that becomes something different, something better than what we were, than what our parents were, and so on and so forth. That's huge for us, especially. It's a godly way of raising our children, and it's only possible because with the alliance, we're able to make what we made when we were both working full time, when she was in her manager position and everything, and also actually more than what we made before, especially like you said, that month that we wrote the 27,000, from that point forward, we've been able to do that. And
Wow. So consistently, you guys are just in your sales job, with the alliance, you've been able to make more month after month than what you used to make together as a couple.
Yes, we were.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that allows her to be here with kids. Like last summer, the two boys were home alone for a long time, at the summertime. And that we didn't like that at all, too much time alone. Now she's present, she's, raising them, and the other why is just you get what you put in. I feel like I get what I put in. If I work hard, if I do everything that you're telling me, that Shayla's telling me, that all the leaders are telling me, and you just work hard at it, you get what you put in. You get the raises you want, you get the rewards that you want, you get all these things. And it's not about who you know or anything like that, or politics and all that stuff. It's about the work that you put in, and that's a huge rewarding feeling, to be able to just do what you're supposed to do and get rewarded for it, and freedom of my time, freedom of being with my family, freedom of my wife being with my family, all those things, and the opportunity to help others financially by bringing them into the business, and them being able to create their, start creating their, helping them financially, and through the opportunity to help others with the services we provide to our clients. So there's
Awesome.
a lot of
so your family, so many whys. I love it. And so family, the most important one. And what I heard was a lot of, hey, now we have an open gate. Now there's nobody holding us back, so I can perform as much as I want to. I can go as high as I want to, because now it's not based on somebody else, but based on my performance, and to be able to help families. That's awesome, brother.
Definitely.
Okay, so Vivi, tell us a little bit about your why. Like, what have you been able to discover now that you are part of this business?
My biggest why is time, and time kind of goes with the three things that build up my why. Because when I was in the corporate world, I didn't have time. I didn't have time for myself either. I didn't have time for my family. I didn't have time for vacation. I couldn't even request vacation because they were like, well, what are we going to do if you're gone? And have you trained someone? I was always training, always recruiting, always. And it just was, I didn't have enough time. And my kids were just growing up, and I wasn't there. Like, I was physically there, but mentally I was all over the place. So with the Alliance, it's helped me have time to disciple my kids the way I want them to be raised, with Christian values, with God's love. And I know that in the long run, they're not going to be dependent of this world, but they're going to be dependent on what God's going to provide for them. And one of them is the blessing that God provided us as the Alliance, and it's leaders like yourself. Another thing is, I never had time for the ministry. I'm always dedicating myself to the kids in the ministry. Now they put me to do Sunday school, teach Sunday school for the adults. Now I have time to prepare. I have time to, ask God. Like, I'm fully dependent on Him. So I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? I'm dependent on what He gives me. So I have more time with the Lord and what He has planned for me. I have time to help others. And with the Alliance, I know that we're going to be able to help others, just like in our situation, and bring them out of that hole and say, look, I was there too. I was a slave for a long time. That's how I felt. And now I'm not. So if we can do it, anybody can do it. So that's my why. My why is you can't put a price on time, on your family, on your health. I was getting sick too. Towards the end, I was like, I think it's time.
Physically
sick. Yeah. I was like, I think it's time.
From the stress of the work.
Oh my gosh. I love it. So now you're able to do these things. And like you said, you were recruiting for another company. So you were building somebody else's business. And when the time came for you to get recognition or to move up to the next level, they said no for all these, reasons that you're not, one of the guys, you're not, from this, part of the, of the world or whatever. You got to stay where you're at. And now you get the opportunity to recruit for yourself, to build your own business. Man, that's powerful. I love it.
Run it my way, not the or, like, no, I'm not limited to nothing but to God's will, So.
I love it. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next 90 days in your business, as you are now going to start recruiting and working together with Alex as you have been on the administrative side. But man, I can't wait to see what's going to happen in your business. Man, I'm so excited for you guys. Super excited. So next up, I have Shayla. I have my little girl. When we were losing the house, I was talking to my kids and saying, hey guys, they were tiny, right? Shayla was 5 years old. And from that time, I can remember talking to them and trying to comfort them and say, yes, I know we're leaving, this big house and you have your own room and everything, and we're moving to this little place. But the most important thing is that we'll all be together, and I was trying to comfort them. And she raises her hand and says, Dad, I'm going to buy Gatorade and water bottles and I'll sell it at church and I'll help you buy another house. So this is when she was 5 years old. Now, only 14 years later, she gets her license last year. It was able to make it to the trip to Alaska, became an agency manager at the same time, just got promoted to district manager, and just killing it in the business. And I see all the love. Alex Avian, I see you on there. Joe, Alberto, Michelle, Alvarez, everybody that's just giving us love on the chat. Thank you so much. We love you guys. We see you guys. But Shayla, go ahead and introduce yourself, Mama. Tell us what's going on.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Good morning and afternoon, because in Eastern time, it's afternoon. I'm Shayla Osuna, hired by Marvin and Rachel Osuna. They are my rock. They are my biggest supporters. So, super thankful to have them. And, first of all, glory to God, because it's only by His grace that I've been able to do what I've done. And super thankful to Andy and Jane, because, they have done so much for my family. This is not just, your normal business. This is a family. This is a community that cares about you. And if I would talk about everything that Andy and Jane have done for us, I would take up the whole time of the call. So I'll just take the time to say thank you.
I love it, Mama. So tell us a little bit about your why. What is it that drives you now to do this business at 19 years old, and just seeing that there is no limit, like Alex said, that the sky is the limit. You can dream as big as you want. You can go as far as you want. So what's driving you right now? What's pushing you right now?
Yeah, so originally my why was sanity. And that sounds a little weird, but I'll explain why. So when I started, I was just going to be very, very part-time, like maybe 1, 2 applications a month, right? Because I was getting ready to live my dream life. And my dream life was I was already going to college to play D1 basketball. So I was getting ready for that. I had about 7 different scholarships, 1 full ride across the country. So I was getting ready, deciding where to go, deciding where to commit to. And after one doctor's appointment, one 45-minute appointment, everything changed. And in a way, my dreams got crushed to the floor. So at the doctor's appointment, they told me that I needed a surgery and that I had actually had torn my meniscus 8 months ago, so that I had to do the surgery as soon as possible. So what that meant was they told me that I was not going to be able to start college and I was not going to be able to play basketball for a year or more. And well, a year or more with the first surgery, and then I had a second surgery, but story for another time. So my whole life, I was working towards this dream, right? Working towards going to college, playing D1 basketball, and in an instant, it was gone, right? So I felt so many things at once, but one of the things that cut the deepest was failure. I felt like a failure. And it wasn't just that I wasn't going to be able to live out my dreams. It was I was failing. I was also failing people that were important to me, or that they never made me feel that way, but I felt that I had failed them. So my parents, they worked so hard, sacrificed so much, did everything they could for me to put me in best schools, to give me the best training. And because of that, I felt like their hard work was, in vain, and that I had let them down and that I had failed them. They never made me feel that way, but that's the weight that I put on myself. And another, couple was my grandparents, actually, from both sides, came to this country to give us opportunities that they never got to have. Just like, my dad was explaining earlier, they came to this country, and then even their generation struggled with being allowed to do certain things because of their status. So because of that, my goal was to be the first in my family to graduate from college. And I wasn't even able to start. So how was I going to graduate if I wasn't able to start, right? So because of the surgery, I wasn't even, able to start. So for so long, that was my goal. That was my dream. I was a part of a first generation program in the college that I was going to. And in an instant, in that doctor's appointment, it was all gone. So then I felt like the suffering, the hard work, the sacrifice that my grandparents did for us, that I wasn't going to be able to fulfill their dreams that they had for us. So then I felt like I had failed them too. So it wasn't just missing out on my dream. It wasn't just failing my dream. It was failing the people that were most important to me in my life. So the reason my why was sanity was because doing this business in a way for me was like a distraction. It was a distraction, basically like an outlet from the pain I was feeling emotionally, physically. it was a distraction from the disappointment I felt. And it helped me in a way. I feel like this business really helped me climb out of the depression hole before I got too deep. So basically, I was doing this business to keep me sane and alive, which is, it's interesting to say that a business can keep you alive, but really it gave me a hope for my future. And, you might say, well, you're so young, you were just out of high school, you shouldn't feel like you failed, but that's the way I felt. And I felt like my future was scattered on the floor, was crumbled to pieces. So this business gave me that hope for my future, that there was something bigger that I could do with my life. So I realized that college wasn't the only opportunity that my parents and grandparents set up for me, because my grandparents, like my dad was saying earlier, were persecuted in their country for having a successful business, and that's why they had to come over here. So them coming over here, they were also giving me that opportunity to grow a successful business freely, away from being threatened, away from being persecuted, away from being chased. So my current why is to keep my parents' and grandparents' legacy going and not letting their American dream fall to the floor. I'm not going to let their hard work, I'm not going to let their sacrifice go to waste. None of what they did for me is going to be in vain. And at all costs, I'm going to take advantage of the opportunities that I was given. And I got people here to make proud, and I got people in the sky to make proud.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much. So your why has to do with the purpose of excelling, and like you said, this is something a responsibility that you took on yourself, to be able to move forward, to make people proud, and we just love your heart for that. And for leading the team the way you're doing it. And, we're getting so much love from Danny Johnson, Carlos Rendon, Alejandra, Corey. We see you. Thank you so much, Alex Sabian. And do we have any of our crazy Team Profit members out there where you're at, or no? No.
Yeah, I think so. So I also want to give a huge shout out to my team, Alex, Cesar, Sean, all of them, Armando, all of them, because, they, in a way, they lift me up. They pushed me to be a better person. If you would have told me a few years back that I would be in a room, standing in front of people, talking and teaching, I would have told you were crazy, because I didn't even like ordering for myself at a restaurant. I was that shy. But really, another why is, seeing when you're talking to people and showing them how they can change their lives for themselves too. And you're teaching and you're seeing those little light bulbs come up, and then you're able to see their life transform. That's just amazing. Let me take this off and let me go see this.
She is actually, we got a mobile camera now, and you can see that Rachel is at the office. Rachel started this maybe about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, where we now have a watch party. So show us what's going on out there in the office.
We got Toast and TWC. So what we do is people who are local, they'll come and eat breakfast. And breakfast, because Pacific time, it's still morning here. So if you want to do it with your team, you can do lunch. But we do Toast and TWC. So we got some people here. Some people are still on their way, but some people here watching the TWC.
Watch party, baby.
Watch party. And, it's all thanks to my amazing mom. She's really the glue that holds this whole team together. They're over there, and then you can see the screen, but I don't want to give too much feedback, so I'll go back in.
Thank you, Shayla. We really appreciate everything you do. And man, so many great things happening, and we're just going to keep this going to help inspire other people. And now we got also somebody who I would love for him to share his why. Mr. Marvin Otsoy came on board with us in 2019. Full on right now, he is the top producer. He has reached the national manager level with us. And check this out, he just qualified for Cabo San Lucas. Woohoo! So go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Thank you, Marvin. Oh, thank God for this opportunity, and to you. And yes, my name is Marvin Otsoy, the other M of the team, making the M&M team. Invited to do the alliance business by you back in 2014, and Reno, Nevada, is my portfolio. So I'm here, and I'm just glad and blessed to be here with y'all and doing the business with my wife, Yulisa, and with my boys, Big Marvin, JC, Gabriel, and coming from Guatemala, I graduated there as an economist, getting my master's degree in finance, and coming to America to see why this is called the country of opportunities, chasing my American dream. But guess what? I started as a maintenance at a warehouse, operating a forklift. And I knew it was something else for me. And now, after years, wow, it's amazing how the alliance system it works. So that's me here. So, and why? So you're asking why. So I think as a business person, so the alliance system is available 24/7. A lot of resources in the ARC. ARC has everything for success. Inside there is an arsenal of resources. So we got everything inside the ARC. CRM allows us to manage the business, the office, the whole agency. And the CRM is a unique system with clients, agents, leads, birthdays, conversion opportunities, e-applications, to use them with all the carriers. So you can track your own activity there, see your report, the activity of the team. So, the team, just not locally, but nationwide. So new recruits, trainings. We have the Alliance University inside of it. So why I'm doing the Alliance? Because it has everything there. Pre-licensing, E&O insurance, all connections with the different teams, like the social media team, ventures, the Alliance store for marketing materials, carriers with free marketing materials. So there's a ton of resources available for us inside the ARC, is with the Alliance. So the question is, are we using them? If not, why not? Maybe there is a lack of knowledge that those even exist. So that's why I encourage everyone just to stick to the upline, go to the meetings, read books, listen podcasts, trainings. So the Alliance is an incredible system. Hey, Robbie and the team, thank you very much for this tool. Thank you for that. It is a pandemic proof, it is in recession proof. It's a lifesaver. Like in my case, when I just was focused on the Alliance, I got financial problems. So it was my lifesaver. Just get involved into the system. Of course, it's not easy, but it's simple to use it with discipline. That's why I love to do the Alliance. Why? Because there is resources, a lot of resources. It's up to me to use them. Second, I would say that leadership in the Alliance is the best of the best. Still doing it because the human resource is incredible. Andy Albright has created, leaders through the years with his own testimony. He's a true warrior. The board members, the managers, all just care of us as humans, as entrepreneurs. They're teaching us, every single day, 24/7. So, and leaders, they are traveling all the time, planting seeds everywhere, teaching us about growth. Basically, from coast to coast, always there is an alliance agent next to you, ready to help. And this James vision has been impeccable in all the details. It brings me to my third why, the alliance culture, still the echo in my mind. So Adam was saying at some point, so the culture, this that manifestation of social behavior in the alliance, norms, beliefs, capabilities, the habits of we as a group, as a people. So, and cool thing, it's passed down from generation to generation, and can include calls, conducts, a lot of things. Culture of educating people, teaching them how to get out of poverty and get the mentality of a winner with daily positive attitude. It's a mental thing, being active and doing a productive activity every day. This is the culture of passed down from generation to generation. And I think that one keeps me motivation in life. My wife, why is the alliance system? Why I will say is the culture, the leadership. Alex was saying, and I love this, not more home alone for the kids. Vivi, time, and say, converting, failure to success, doing the do. That's a plus. That's my motivation right there, because one of the motivations will be building a legacy for the whole family. I can have the business with the family, and the alliance is a family oriented business. True examples to follow, the Albrights, even the little ones, the cats, and of course, the Osuna. I call the Osuna Nation. You guys as vice presidents in the company, I know Isaias and Little Shay, agency managers, district managers, Ezekiel building the business. Wow, what a true example of family. Yeah, and this is possible. Thank you for Andy and James' vision for having family all together, having fun, making money, and making the difference in people's life. It really motivates me because I can pursue that dream. Just imagine having Julissa, Big Marvin or Little Marvin, JC, Gabriel doing the do with us. Yeah, this is amazing, man. And other motivation is free trips with the alliance, as you mentioned, Cabo. Hard work always, have a payday. All inclusive, pay trip for a week, given to us by the carriers, by Andy, by the alliance. No, I can imagine myself coming from the farm of my parents in Guatemala all the way to Aruba, Mexico, Canada, Alaska, Ireland. Wow. It really motivates me. I'm just keep blessed. It's luxury vacation, 5-star vacation. So, and I'm just sharpening my knowledge around the top leaders on those trips. Solid friendship with agents, and I'm picking the brains and just realize that I have too much to apply into my business every day, knowing them, and we can grow all together, building and recruiting, producing, as Andy's saying, as all the top producers are saying. So why not change people's life? I love the atmosphere of friendship, family, and of course, doing business together make us stronger. So we are stronger when we are together all the time. If I was able to do this, so why not you? Why not me? Why not now? It's amazing, Marvin. Thank you. It's been amazing.
Man, I just hear so much gratitude, and I just hear in your voice, and also all the things you mentioned, the system, the leadership, and everything, that part of your why is showing your gratitude for all these things that are available. Because there's many people out there that have had a business for a long time, but being a business owner can be very lonely if you don't have a system, if you don't have a team, if you don't have a family to go back to. And very soon we'll be together with the family at the National Boot Camp in Orlando in the month of October, and I just can't wait to see our family there. And so, just like Marvin was saying, initially you start out because you're trying to make something happen. Like I was mentioning in my case, I was trying to make ends meet. Then my why started to evolve, and so at that point, my why was more like, okay, what are the things that I can do for my family? What opportunities can I create for my family? What kind of things can I do, for my mom? Because she did so much for me, when she had the ability to do it. So what can I do for her? And thank God I had a chance to be able to do that when she was still here with us, is to have her travel with us, to buy things for her that before I couldn't buy, just things that impacted my life in such a way, and to see this business grow to the point that when she was in the hospital before she went to be with God, I was able to spend all that time with her, months in the hospital, because we had a why that involved other people, that impacted other people, and that business continued to provide income for us even if we were not out in the field. So my why started to evolve to what it is now. And I'm going to share this with you real quick. My why now, it's more about creating a long lasting legacy. I want to be able to model work ethic for my family, my kids. I want to be able to model discipline and the ability to dream big. I want my people, I want my kids to know, I want the team to know that I want to dream big, and I want them to dream big with me. I want them to join that dream so that, when it's not about just making the money anymore, because one of my whys at the time was, can I become the first, and this is as my why was evolving, can I become the first six-figure income earner in my family? Why? Because I want to inspire other family members. Now my current why is becoming a seven-figure income earner. The first one in the family, to be able to do it, making a difference in this business. We say that we make money, we have fun, we make a difference. And so now my why is more about, making a difference, helping organizations that rescue young girls, from slavery, from human trafficking, being able to help organizations, in our home country, being able to help, our church. My goal has to do more now with, eternity. Because we talk about, eternity, inspiration, we talk about all those things that really take a meaning of their own once you start to find your purpose. And, I would ask you this question, which is part of my why. How do you want to be remembered? Well, when people remember me, and this is not just because I'm just saying, well, it's about what people say, but no, it's about the impact that you make in people's lives. I would want to be remembered as somebody who like, oh yeah, Marvin was just, getting by, just playing it safe all the time, not really a big risk taker, just did as much as he could, but never crossed that line. No, I want to be remembered as someone who left it all on the line. I want to be remembered as someone who was able to dream bigger, than anybody before him. I want to be able to be remembered as someone who was a catalyst of change. What is a catalyst of change? Well, by definition, a catalyst of change is a person or an event that causes change to happen, or to inspire or instigate change and help an organization to overcome inertia, to overcome, issues that they can't move forward, and to create a positive change, to create drive in people. So that is my why now, is to be able to impact other people's lives, so that more people start traveling with us, so that more people say, hey, I was also the first one to make six figures, for my family. I was able to do this for my kids. I was able to create this opportunity for my parents. I was able to, be the first homeowner, whatever it is. Now my purpose and my why is more about impacting more lives, so that when people remember me, it's not really about, an ego. That's how I want to be remembered. But when they think of, my life, if I was representing God with excellence, if I want to do, everything to the fullest, that example can impact them, so that it can motivate them, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, so that lifestyle can motivate them to do better, to impact their community, to be able to make a change in their lives. So that is my current why. And of course, it involves traveling around the world, with my wife. We're about to celebrate 25 years being married, and part of it, first of all, that's because of the grace of God, and the love and the word of God in our lives. But also part of that is the alliance, because we learn so much. We learn how to become, better spouses, better parents. We learn how to make a change in our community as a person, not just as a salesperson, not just as an agent or a recruiter, but actually to become a better person. And so, that's what really, defines me now. So I'm going to ask you, like, where is a place that you want to go to that you've never been? Or what is like the food that you've never had, that you've always wanted to try that food in that country? Or how would it feel, to have a house on the beach for your family, or to have a farm for your parents? I mean, whatever it is, please start asking yourself, what is your why? Who are you doing this for? You have to find the reason, and you have to find the people that you are doing this for. So I'm going to give you, the four principles, or the five principles that I believe will be very helpful in terms of defining your why and preparing yourself to be able to, make a big difference. So are you ready for the first step? All right. Well, I see, and I'm sharing that love. We're getting messages from Joe Dukes, Michelle, Amanda, Joe, Michelle Charabal, Tracy. Forgive yourself. Somebody might go, what? Did I change the YouTube channel? Like, did I jump into the wrong meeting? What the heck? Forgive yourself, because we are our worst critics. We are always putting ourselves down, and sometimes we become like our biggest bully because we don't forgive ourselves. And you're telling me, well, how is this going to help me in business? Well, let me tell you something. Most people, when they get up in the morning, they look in the mirror and they start looking at all the things that are wrong with them, all the things that they don't like about themselves, their face, their body, their hair, whatever it is. just automatically, most people do that. When you look in the mirror, you see all the bad things. Sometimes, a phone call like this, or a video that, or some type of class that you see, or when somebody's recognized up on stage, then that becomes your mirror. And you look at that mirror and you go, well, I'm not doing that. Well, I'm not good enough. Well, I'm not like that person. And you start criticizing yourself, and you're really hard on yourself. And you probably feel the people around you, like maybe a spouse or somebody like that, you think that in their mind, they're going like, you're a loser, you suck, you're not good enough. How come you're not like that person? And so we become, kind of like a judge in front of us. Like when we get on these calls, sometimes we go, oh man, I don't have what it takes. So first of all, forgive yourself for all the things that you have not done, because you got to be able to move forward. You got to be able to love yourself and say, okay, I forgive myself for being lazy, forgive myself for, being distracted with TV, games, whatever it is. So I got to forgive myself. And I got to be able to love myself and say, okay, you know what? I deserve it. That's what it took for me. I had to accept, and I had to tell myself that I deserve to sit at the table, that I deserve to become a top producer, that I deserve to be up on stage. I had to accept it first before it happened. So please, I beg you, forgive yourself, love yourself, and say, you know what? I deserve it. So that is the first step. That's really what you need to do. Second thing is, you need to define who you are. Most of us define ourselves by our failures, like the things that we did wrong, or that we didn't hit certain goal, or that we didn't finish the month the way we wanted. So those failures define us. Like, oh, I had a dial session 3 months ago, and because they yelled at me and they hung up on me, then I stopped dialing, or I stopped caring about the team. And so you think that you are those failures. You're not those failures. Those are things that happen to you, but it's not who you are. That does not define you. What defines you is what you do after you encounter the failure. That defines who you are. Because if you're ready to get back up and to say, you know what? Failure is part of success. Like, I have to go through failure to get to success, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to be painful, and it may be uncomfortable. Yes, it is. But, think of something that is worthwhile, and look back and go, okay, did it take hard work? Did I have to work out like really hard and be in pain for 2 or 3 days and be sore after the workout? Did I have to stay up late and study? Like, all those things require pain, require pressure. But that's what it takes, to be able to grow. There are some growing pains. And so if you're able to grow from these mistakes and say, okay, the failure just reminds me of the things that I'm not supposed to do. So if that didn't work, don't do it again. But now step into who you really are. Step into the person that you were meant to be. Step into the person that can be successful no matter what happens. And, the way I see it is, yes, I'm glad you're on this call. And just being on this call is not enough. Because what defines you is what you're going to do after this call is over. Are you going to pick up your phone? Are you going to book your appointments? Are you going to go door knocking? Like, that's what defines you. Not for being on this call. Because, you might be in your car or on your couch or on your bed listening to this call. What defines you is what you do once we say goodbye, once the call is over. So that is really what makes you, who you are, and being able to go through the fire. The gold has to be in the fire for a very long time to be purified. And the way I think about it, I'm 51 years old. And the way I think about it is like the eagle. The life of an eagle is about 70 years, right? I don't know if you know this or not, but it's about 70 years. And so what happens when an eagle hits, around the time that it reaches the age of 40, the eagle is going to fly as high as it can to the highest mountain, the highest peak, and it's going to find a place to sit there for a long time. And the eagle's going to start beating its beak against the rock until the beak falls off. And it's going to start plucking its feathers and plucking the talons until it just becomes, just like this I don't know, disfigured type of creature. And it's going to be in pain, and it's going to be cold and everything. But with time, the beak is going to start to grow back. The vision is going to start to get focused again. The feathers are going to grow back, the talons, and then the eagle's going to be able to fly again, and it's going to be able to hunt, and it's going to expand and add 30 years to its life. So why don't we look at the eagle and say, hey, I need to reinvent myself. I'm not too old. I'm not too young. I'm not too big or small, young, whatever it is, too sick to do it. No, just reinvent yourself. It's going to be painful, because it is painful for the eagle to break the beak and pull out the feathers. It is going to be painful, but I guarantee you're going to be able to soar. You're going to be able to go higher than you've ever gone before. You're going to be able to reach limits that before they were impossible. You're going to be able to look at those items on your bucket list and say, yep. And you're going to live a full life. So think about that. Think about the discipline that it requires, because most people look at discipline and they go, well, to me, discipline is like captivity or slavery or bondage, because if I'm disciplined, that means I have to get up early, run appointments all day, go home late, whatever. Discipline equals freedom. Because the people in this organization who are disciplined, those are the ones that have the freedom to do what they want to do with their kids, the freedom to travel, the freedom to experience amazing things, the freedom to roam around in a cruise ship full of people, 4,000 people in a cruise ship, and go watch the whales in Alaska and the eagles flying around. I want that kind of freedom. But discipline is what will get you to that freedom. So please don't equate, discipline to bondage or captivity. It's not about that. It's you becoming a disciplined person right now. Just like we've learned before, the inspiration from family reunion probably wore off already. And discipline, the everyday grind, has to take its place so that you can continue this 90-day run, so that you can continue to move forward and say, okay, my discipline right now is going to get me the freedom that I want, the real freedom to travel, the real freedom to do what I want to do, the real freedom to make decisions not based on money, not based on the bank account, just to make decisions based on your schedule or other things, but not based on money. The next thing that I want to give you is that you got to realize that this is up to you. And that from this point forward, you cannot have another 0 week. So say no to 0 weeks. What do I mean by that? Well, 0 week could be like a week with no production, a week with no recruits, a week with no phone calls, whatever it is. No more 0 weeks. Write that in big letters in your notes. No more 0 weeks. That's a thing of the past. After you forgive yourself, you got to be able to
put some activity in. Got to be able to do something different. We're about to introduce something to the team right now because, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And I want to introduce something that I want to call All for One. All for One. Life Insurance Awareness Month means that we have to make people aware of life insurance. And so I want to challenge my team, everybody on the team, to write at least one application on September 1st, one life application on September 1st, because that means that everybody in the team, of course, the ones that are writing 10 or 12, that's one more that you got to write. But people who've never written an application or people who wrote their last application 90 days ago, write one application September 1st. To get you going, to break that cycle, to break the ice, as we call it, just breaking the ice and having another client. But submit an application on September 1st and watch your month just take off from that moment forward. Another thing is that the only thing that matters is, number one, that it's up to you. It's not up to your upline. It's not up to the system. It has nothing to do with what's around you, but it's up to you. It's like, what are you going to do this week? And the second thing is that there are only two activities that matter. Being on the phone, that's the only way you're gonna produce. You're gonna recruit. Being on the phone or being face to face with someone. Those are the only two activities that are going to get you to the next level. Being on the phone or being in front of someone. So you gotta do both this week. You gotta choose to step into that and be like, okay, I'm going for it. If I'm on the phone, I'm getting yelled at, they're hanging up on me, they're telling me, I don't even know who you are. I don't even know, what you're talking about. That's okay. You're on the phone. Do what you need to do. The next one is preparation. Thank God and thank Andy that I remembered my affirmations that I had when I was, my first 5 years in the field. And those affirmations are things like, I'm the best producer. I'm the best agent in the state where I live. People want to see me. These clients need my help. I am the number one agent in the, like all these affirmations that I used to repeat to myself. I started thinking about them over the weekend and we sent them out to the group. And just being able to prepare yourself is just so important. How do you prepare yourself in the morning? Well, one of the things that I know is that if you are grateful for what you have and you have some time to show your gratitude and say, thank God for my family, for this, for everything that I have, and don't think about the things you don't have. That's the first step. The second one is speak out your affirmations. You gotta speak those things into existence. You gotta be able to say those things out loud, like these affirmations, that we have. I am the only person who can help these families. I am here to help the beneficiaries. It's not about the money, but it's about the family. What can I do? So speak these affirmations, just speak them into life. And then that's going to help you, to catapult you into the mindset that you need to have in the field. Do some sort of exercise, stretching, whatever it is, breathing, whatever it is to get your mind right, to get, your body going, your metabolism, do something like that in the morning to prepare yourself, to say, okay, I am ready to take on this day. Light of day is so important. The association in the light of day, the people you talk to, the people you associate with. If you got a bunch of negative people in your life or in your team and you're talking to them, get away from that and start talking to people that are positive. Well, speaking of that, you're like, well, there's nobody in my town. I'm the only one in my town. Well, I'm going to say this. If you're not reading, nothing is happening in here. If you're not reading, nothing is happening in here. Andy Albright said this from stage one time. He said, most of the successful people around the world, like the top, millionaires, producers, the most influential people have one thing in common. They have read two books. One is the Bible, and the other one is Think and Grow Rich. And you might say, well, I don't even have money to buy a book. That's okay. Go on YouTube and search Think and Grow Rich. And the entire audio is on YouTube. It's free, like just to listen to that. But once you start making money, start buying books. There's a book that's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. There's another book, Success, the Glenn Bland Method. First Things First by, Stephen Covey. Goals by Brian Tracy. The Millionaire Maker Manual of Andy Albright. The Energy Boss, John Gordon. All these different books. Take time to read. Take time to fill yourself, to fill your cup, so that you can pour into others, so that you can be a blessing to others. That's what we have for you today. I just want to tell you, now that you can define your purpose, you can define who you are, define your why, in life and in this business. Go out and get it, baby. We love you. Take care. Let's go make this happen. This is your time. This is the TWC. Take care, guys. We love you. This is your time. Let's go get it. See ya.